ITV News UK editor Paul Brand joins me alongside our Dr Amir. News on how the royal family are preparing to mark. This is a big day, of course. It's a big day. Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, of course. And that's really kind of where the royals come into their own.
Yeah, of course, and this is a big day for everyone, isn't it, in the country? And we all remember those that we know who served in particularly the two world wars. So the plan of action today is that there'll be a message from the Prince of Wales, which will be played out during a virtual assembly this morning, organised by the Royal British Legion. And then Kate will lead a 2-minute silence at 11 o'clock, of course. And there'll be a special poem that she'll read out, a sonnet for us all, as it's called, reflecting the importance of personal connections, experiences and bonds that are formed through military service. So you can expect that, as I say, at 11 o'clock this morning. Exactly.
And it's the very least we can do, is actually just to stop for a second and remember all of the servicemen and women who do such an incredible job, and some who've made the ultimate sacrifice, and we don't think about it enough.
No.
So it's a way to say thank you, isn't it?
I think that's absolutely right, because it's such an important day for all of us. Every poppy represents someone's son, daughter, husband, wife, brother, sister, all these ordinary people who are thrust into these unimaginable situations. And we've got to remember why they fought as well. They fought fighting fascism, tyranny, greed, arrogance, all of those things. And I think that is the lesson we have to learn. We have to remember the fallen, but the why they've fallen as well. And there's people right now who are talking and beating the drums of war. I would implore them all to go and look at those field of poppies and remember their words lead to that.
Exactly. Or if you go, like, if you visit any of the grave sites, especially in Normandy, it really brings it home to you. Just the sea of crosses. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, and it's something we must never ever forget.
We have to pass it on as well. I mean, one of the things that strikes me these days is there aren't many of the veterans left, particularly, as I say, from World War II. And my son now, growing up, he doesn't have anyone in his family who fought in World War II. So I was explaining to him, he's only 4, but I was explaining to him over the weekend that his great-grandfather fought, both his great-grandfathers fought in the war, and what they did and where they were, and he found it really interesting. And I think that's really important for me, is to pass on that family history of how we've all been affected by war.
No, of course, of course. Other news, Trump on the front pages again. He's threatening to sue the BBC for $1 billion. I don't know where he's got that number from, but that's what he's threatening to do.
Here's one of the headlines this morning on the Daily Star. $1 billion. Man, baby may sue frickin' idiots. Which I think sort of sums up that both sides...
sues frickin' idiots.
Both sides in this aren't necessarily coming off looking great.
Yes.
So, of course, this is the row over the fact that the BBC misedited a speech by Donald Trump just ahead of the Capitol riots on January the 6th, 2021. They spliced together 2 clips that they really shouldn't have, and I think all of us in the news industry and current affairs industry understand that that is not a good thing to do. I don't really understand personally how it happened. Yeah, you've done this a million times, right, Lorraine? You sit in an edit suite and you really think carefully about how you portray things. And look, there have been arguments that Donald Trump did incite the Capitol riots, and in fact, some people have said that he is guilty of doing that through various congressional committees, etc. But nevertheless, you just don't want to mislead the viewers. So Donald Trump says because of that, he wants £1 billion if the BBC, or $1 billion, if the BBC doesn't do 3 things: issue a full and fair retraction, apologise immediately, and appropriately compensate the US president. So if it's not $1 billion, they've got to come up with another sum. Now, from my understanding is this is not going to happen. The BBC aren't going to pay out. They think that there's no need to do it because of various reasons, including the fact that the documentary was broadcast a year ago, more than a year ago, and under defamation laws in the UK, you have to be looking at a claim within a year. So that could get them off the hook, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think that they've got that amount of money anyway.
It's about a third of what they have annually, I think, or a quarter.
Who has, indeed. Amir, yesterday you met the Prime Minister.
I did.
It was for some... We'll talk about the exact reason why they had all of this, but it gave you an opportunity to talk to him in a way that you directly, face-to-face.
Yeah, it did. And it was interesting, actually. He came across a lot less robotic than I've seen him on TV, much more personable. One of the things I was really passionate about is the health of children, which is what he was talking about, but specifically in socially deprived communities where children really struggle with health, with achieving their full potential, thriving thriving in life. And one of the things that really factors into that is this two-child benefit cap.
Yes.
And I see that with my patients. You know, they have larger families often and they really struggle financially. And this is really impacting them. And I know Rachel Reeves spoke about this yesterday. Gordon Brown talked about it yesterday. They're giving the hints that actually they may get rid of it. But I asked the Prime Minister directly if he would get rid of it in a bid to help lift children out of poverty, because it could lift over 500,000 children out of poverty. And he actually suggested quite strongly that the budget would get rid of that two-child benefit cap. So let's take a listen.
Okay.
I can tell you in no uncertain terms, I'm determined to drive child poverty down. It is what the last Labour government did, and it's one of the things we were proudest of. I am personally determined that is what we're going to do. You won't have to wait much longer to see what the measures are. Some of them are already in place. The free school meals, the breakfast clubs, free childcare are all part of it. But look, we need to do more than that. And I can look you in the eye and tell you I'm personally committed to driving down child poverty.
Will that involve getting rid of the two-child benefit?
You won't have to wait much longer, but I wouldn't be telling you that we're going to drive down child poverty if I wasn't clear that we will be taking a number of measures in order to do so.
Jason Paul.
We will be taking a number of measures. I think get Amir to interview the Prime Minister more often, because he got answers that none of the rest of us in political journalism can get. That is obviously a massive, massive hint in the budget. He is going to do something around this two-child benefit cap. And the Chancellor said something similar yesterday too. So this is really adding up to a picture that is something we should definitely expect in the budget.
Absolutely. Or the wrath of Dr Amir.
Yes.
You don't want it to
You don't want that.
do that. You also, though, you spoke to him, you took the opportunity quite rightly to talk to him about a divided Britain.
Yeah, we've very much got a divided Britain right now, whether that is with the rise of anti-Muslim hatred, anti-Semitism, LGBTQ plus hatred, but also working people who feel left behind as well. All of that is a melting pot. And I wanted to ask him, because he's done speeches before where he's mentioned Island of Strangers, and that hurt for a lot of people. Yep. So I wanted him to give him the opportunity to try and address that directly. So he was actually pretty good with his answer. I'm an NHS GP, my sister is an A&E consultant, my other sister works for the police. Now, Britain is really divided right now, whether that's anti-Muslim hate, anti-Semitism, LGBTQ plus hate, and the working class feel really left behind. As a brown person, I've never felt more unsafe in the country I was born in. What are you doing to politically, culturally and emotionally bring the country together?
This is so important, because I think the political divide now is between what I call patriotic national renewal, which is what this Labour government is doing, bringing people together, whether it's partnership working here or across the country, finding those points of connection, or, and this is what I fear, the toxic division of Reform and others on the right in politics, where they're tearing our country apart. Some of the rhetoric we're hearing, racist rhetoric, divisive rhetoric, that frankly I thought we'd dealt with decades ago, is returning to politics, and it makes people feel very scared. And we have to stand up to that racism, to that division, and we have to proudly say that to be British is to be concerned for others, is to be reasonable, is to be tolerant and compassionate, and we're proud of that.
Do you know, that's so interesting, both of you, because you said you found him, when he was speaking to you like a person, much less robotic. And that's the most passionate I think I've ever seen him, Paul. I mean, he really was, it felt like he was talking from the heart there.
Yeah, and I wonder whether actually what Amir's captured there is a slight change in tack from the Prime Minister, because he has been under a lot of pressure recently to sort of come out and say what Labour stands for. You know, are they the party of the working class? If so, why are they carrying on with the two-child benefit cap? Are they a Liberal party that believes in progressive policies? If so, why aren't they fighting reform on some of these culture war issues that Amir brought up there? And actually, I think maybe he sort of answered those questions by saying those two things. On the child benefit cap, he wants to scrap it. And when it comes to reform, I mean, I think that'll be quite inflammatory that he said reform are racist, essentially, is what he said. I mean, I'm sort of summarising there, but that is the implication of what he's saying there. That is going to cause sparks to fly, I would suspect, in Westminster.
Yes. What have you started?
Oh, no, I know. Well, I did ask him, actually, if he was the party of the working class, and I asked him what he thought about reform and green rising as well, and he did answer that question too. I don't know if we've got that.
Yeah, no, we have. Yeah.
Making sure people feel safe and secure in their own community and within their country by making sure our borders are secure. And that's what I focus on every single day.
Do you still think you're the party of the working class?
Yes, I absolutely do. We're the party of the working class, fighting for the working class, always have been, always will be.
Well, Amir, you were there, as you said, for this whole initiative trying to get children healthier, fitter.
This is actually a really positive initiative. He wants to improve nutritional quality of food in school, which we can all get on board with.
Absolutely.
Also make more free school meals accessible and free breakfast clubs so children have the best start, not just with food, but the environment that they start learning in. And that is something I can 100% get behind too.
Exactly.
Prime Minister, tell me how you feel these measures today are going to influence childhood obesity and child health going forward.
I think they're hugely important. We're celebrating here partnership working, government with various sectors, but particularly focusing on food at school and proving the concept, which has been proven, that good, nutritious food is obviously better for children. And guess what? They actually do like it more. But then it has an impact on health beyond eating a good meal a day, because two of the biggest issues for children are obesity and actually tooth decay. And what we're doing here is really important on all those fronts. And we've proven the concept, and now we've just got to get on and roll it out.
Now, you've got 2 teenage children. Do you find it difficult to get them to eat healthy food?
Of course. And when they were younger, we used to disguise vegetables into their dishes and mix it in without them knowing. But now they have learned about healthy eating. And, you know, there is this myth that you can't get your kids to eat, you know, good, healthy, nutritious food. That's often thrown at those doing free school meals, that you've got to have, you know, some of the cheaper brands. Not true. You can do it. It's much better food, and the kids like it. And that is what we've got to do across the country.
Well, Amir, thank you for talking to our Prime Minister. It was fascinating. And thank you both very much. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.